Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today we are going to be talking about one of the most important tools in Battleship New Jersey's crew's inventory, and that is the grease pencil. The grease pencil can be used to write on any glass or plexiglass on the ship so that you've got all that information there in one place. So for example, check out this picture of Battleship New Jersey's bridge. I believe it's in 1969. So just near the captain's seat, and somebody's wrote down all the important information about where the ship is sailing, when the high tide is, all that stuff. Just in grease pencil on the bridge, and you can just wipe that right off and you're good to go. So now all that information is there for pass down when whoever the next officer of the deck is comes on. They've got it all right there. I've seen this also done in the flight control booth. So they have a status board back there inside the room, but also I've seen them write with grease pencil on the window so that they know what the aircraft that they're landing right then, what its fuel load is, what this is, what that is. But then, of course, you've got status boards like this guy all over the ship. And sometimes they're like this with the acronyms written on them so you know what you're looking at. Sometimes they're like this one where you're plotting a target relative to yourself. The problem is Battleship New Jersey has a number of different sensors and they're all two-dimensional. Ships are in two-dimensional space. So if we find a ship on a surface search radar, that's great. We know where they are relative to us. Over time we can track how fast they're going, what their course is, what their bearing is to us. That gives us all the information. Aircraft, however, are operating in 3 dimensions. So we have 2 separate sensors. An air search radar that finds out where they are in 2 dimensions, like how far away from us they are, and a height finder that'll find out how high they are compared to the ship. And then you put that information together. Some ships will also have sonar. Battleship New Jersey does not have that. Many of the ships in our task force would, and so you can detect things underwater. We've got radio direction finders where you can use that to triangulate the position of a ship that's transmitting electronics, whether it's radio, radar, things like that. So we've got all of these various sensors that are tracking friendly ships in our own task force, unknown ships, or enemy ships, aircraft, missiles, all of these things. And that is the whole reason why we're in this room today. This is the Combat Information Center. Today's video is brought to you by Established Titles. Established Titles uses the ancient Scottish tradition of making landowners a laird or lady, lord or lady, by simple merit of owning property in Scotland. So Established Titles allows you to buy as little as 1 square foot of property in Scotland to become a Scottish lord or lady. This is a prefix like Mr. or Mrs. that you can put on things like your plane tickets, your credit cards, and even your dating profiles. That one's my favorite. They send you a certificate like this one. I'm Lord Ryan Szymanski now. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift idea. Remember, the holiday season is approaching. And they donate to One Trees Planted and Trees for the Future. I absolutely love this environmentalism about the company. Remember to use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get 10% off your next purchase. And the first 200 people who purchase will get a plot right next to mine in the same kingdom. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift, and they're running an amazing sale right now in addition to our discount code. So go over there soon. Go to establishedtitles.com/battleship and use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get your gifts now and support our channel and our museum. CIC is one of the spaces we're working on restoring currently, and this is a World War II era addition to the ship. So originally in the 1940s blueprints for the ship, CIC is supposed to be a 16-inch powder magazine. But during the fighting around Guadalcanal in particular in 1942, the Navy is expecting their ships to perform really well at night, even though there hasn't been any training with night fighting. because they've got radars and can detect the Japanese ships. Well, the American commanding officers do not trust their radars one bit, because with those early radars that are retrofitted onto ships, the receiver, the console like this one, the repeater has to be close to the antenna itself. So that antenna is at the highest point of the ship. This is somewhere high up in the superstructure. The captain's down on the bridge. So somebody has to call the captain and say what they see on this. Great. We got something on surface search. Well, somebody else from the air search antenna on the main mast at the back of the ship has to call him and say, hey, we got this. And someone on the height finder, someone on the radio direction finder. It was just too much for the captain to have any idea what a picture of the battle space was. So, ships like New Jersey, still under construction, ships that are refit and get major alterations, have combat information centers installed, like this one, where all the radar repeaters are in one place. And then you've got a guy in charge of the space, oftentimes during World War II, that is going to be your executive officer. By the 1980s on New Jersey, there is a guy called the Tactical Action Officer who is in charge of the combat space. And he doesn't sit in front of a radar repeater. In this space, he would sit here in the middle of the room. All the radar repeaters are out there. Those guys say what they see, and then somebody with the grease pencil is writing it on the status board. Problem. I am here writing on the status board all the updates to the bogey that we are tracking right now. We've got a confirmed target that we are tracking over time, and I'm writing all this down, and the TAO sitting where you are with the camera cannot see what I'm writing because I'm standing here. Cool. It's glass, so it's clear. So the Navy installs a curtain behind this space just so there's no backlight or anything else on this, and they put a room back here intentionally for a sailor to stand and write on the status board. Now the key to this is I am writing backwards to what I'm looking at so that it is forwards for the Tactical Action Officer where you are. So let's see. Bearing to the target is 180. That looks backwards to me, so it might be forwards to you. Hey, range to target. Let's say it is 20,000 yards. We'll say 10 nautical miles. Does that look good? The time by my watch is 1400 hours. Hey, man, we're getting good at this. There is actually a class that the sailors who are doing this would go to learn how to write backwards because, well, I have to stop and think before I write anything down, but I really have to think about it before I write down backwards. And likewise, it's the same thing with this status board over here. So we've plotted that we've got something at 180, so that is due south of us at 20,000 yards, which let's say 5, 10, 15, 20. And that is at 1400 hours. And so over time, we might be tracking it. And that particular target may go over to, let's say, 160. Does that look like a 6? That does not look like a 6. See how it just wipes off? Does that look like a 6? No, that's a 2. 160, and it is now at 15,000 yards, and we're going to say that it is now 1405. So let's come over here. We've had 5 minutes. It's closed in 5,000 yards. And it has slewed over here to 160. So now we can start tracking this over time. And we know it went 5,000 yards in 5 minutes, which is, I'm a historian, I don't do the maths, but that ends up being 1,000 yards a minute. That's pretty darn fast. Probably an aircraft. Luckily, it's not on a collision course for us. It's going to end up flying parallel to us, but it will be within range of our 5-inch guns if we wanted to take a pot shot at it, if we can confirm what it is. Another one of the sensors that we have is called identification friend or foe. So ships intentionally have transponders that they will turn on that say what they are. And so American electronics, if I pick up those sorts of signals, I'm pretty sure it's an American ship. If I pick up Soviet bloc transponders, and I'm off the coast of Russia, hey, maybe this is a Russian ship. I'm off the coast of North Korea. Hey, this might be a North Korean ship with Russian electronics on it. So that will help you determine whether this target that's just a blip on a radar screen for you is actually something that you are authorized to engage or not. So, my question for you at the end of this video is, have you ever tried to write backwards? Let us know in the comment section down below. I think my handwriting is better writing backwards because I have to stop and think about it. I'm not just scribbling out on a page. That's pretty good. It also means that if the tactical action officer is a real goober and comes up here and touches, he's not smudging the board. So, all good stuff. This is why the Navy does it this way. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate Established Titles giving us the money to buy our new grease pencils. There is a link in the description down below if you would like to support the ship by going through Established Titles. They've got a sale going on right now, and you can use our discount code BATTLESHIP to get an extra 10% off. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about us and our channel. Thanks for watching.